Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. Jota, and today it's pretty obvious that I had to be here just to share with you the best news we could ever hear, and it was about Kylian Mbappe. I mean, as you know, the most important news, the latest news regarding to that allegedly decision from Kylian Mbappe not to renew his contract with PSG is obviously today the news of the day. And of course, I will be here to talk about that a little bit more, a little bit longer, because it's not just about the news, it's about all the multiple consequences that decision will have in the near future regarding to the signing of Kylian Mbappe for Real Madrid, or how the things are going to be, what the things are going to look like in the foreseeable future, because it's not just, I mean, we cannot assure 100% that Real Madrid will play in Real Madrid the next season. There's still another possibility that might see how Kylian Mbappe stays and remains one more year in PSG and coming to play in Real Madrid the next year. So there are multiple consequences of this news, this decision. So let's try to speak about that, step by step and a little bit slowly, a little bit more in detail regarding to every single, starting in this news, every single person, Florentino Perez, Al-Khelaifi, Mbappe, and all the things regarding to that. So let me get into the details and let me get started with obviously the original news that it was coming out from L'Equipe yesterday in France. It was the midnight in Europe. It was the afternoon, evening here in the United States when we heard from L'Equipe that Kylian Mbappe had communicated to some people from PSG. We still don't know if that people is the board members, Al-Khelaifi, teammates, or whoever, but the decision, the communication that he won't renew his contract with PSG. But in the same information, in the same article, if you scroll down, you will find another interesting thing, which is that Kylian Mbappe, although he won't renew his contract, he will remain one more year in PSG, which is the year that is still left in of his contract to finish his career, to finish his his time in PSG. So apparently, although he wants to something different, he wants to join Real Madrid, he prefers allegedly to stay in PSG one more year. But this is not that easy. This is a little bit more complicated, and let me explain you why. The reason why I'm claiming this is because Florentino Perez, in my opinion, is the smartest guy in the room once again. And the only reason why allegedly Mbappe wants to stay one more year in PSG is not because he thinks that it's better for him to arrive to Real Madrid the next year. No, it's because, in my opinion, Florentino has said to Kylian Mbappe not to start a war with PSG and say, just, okay, I don't want to renew my contract, that's it. Because for a lot of people, for so many people out there, what it was expected to happen is that Kylian Mbappe, right after saying that he won't renew his contract with PSG, the next move, the next decision he had to communicate to PSG, according to so many people out there, it's okay, I don't want to renew my contract with PSG, but at the same time I want to leave right this summer, right quick, because I want to join Real Madrid. And that is exactly what, in my opinion, Florentino Perez has advised to Kylian Mbappe not to. Don't do that, because that way you will start a war, and this way is much more better for both of us, for Real Madrid and Kylian Mbappe, because PSG won't have any reason, any argument to start a war with you and, for example, put you on the bench for the rest of the season, or force you or push you forward to stay in PSG starting a war. That is exactly what Real Madrid wants to avoid. That is exactly what Real Madrid doesn't want, a kind of war against PSG. So Florentino Perez presumably would have said to Kylian Mbappe not to start a war and say, okay, just say that you don't wanna renew your contract, that's it. Because that way, now PSG is the one who has to take a decision because they are facing a super high risk situation, witnessing how his best player might be leaving for free the next year, and that is exactly what they don't want. So that way, now that Mbappe is not offering any argument, any reason to PSG to start a war, PSG might see this player or this situation like, okay, we have a player who never offended us, who was very respectful, who has helped us over the last season to go as far as possible in the Champions, in the domestic league and all the stuff. He's been giving to us his best years, so there's no reason for us to start a war against him just because we want him to stay. And on the other hand, we have another club, which is Real Madrid, who never has said nothing, offensive. He never spoke in public about Kylian Mbappe, and they were interested about that. They never said anything like that. So that way, PSG and Al Khelaifi don't have any reasonable argument to say, okay, we are going to start a war with these guys because they are trying to hijack the best player or my best player or something like that. They don't have any reason. So it's much better for all of us a peaceful path to follow, rather than a war, a warfare, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So from that perspective, in my opinion, the strategy from Florentino Perez is the smartest one. But the thing now is that we will see multiple consequences. In my opinion, the most likely to happen now is that PSG will sit down on the table and make the call to Real Madrid and say, okay, let's try to negotiate for Kylian Mbappe because it's the best way for us, it's the best way for you guys. And the other reason is because Jose Felix Diaz in the Diario Marca is claiming that Al Khelaifi already had confessed to some people from his inner circle that he will have to negotiate for Kylian Mbappe. However, if that doesn't happen, what is going to happen is that we will see to Kylian Mbappe arriving to Real Madrid next year for free. So that way, the option of Erling Haaland will get in stronger. You know what I'm saying? So if we are unable to sign Kylian Mbappe this year, then we don't have to worry about that because he will land in Madrid for free the next year. And this summer, what is going to happen then is that Real Madrid will go ahead and try to sign Erling Haaland, and then we can redirect all that money to the Norwegian player. And that way, as a result, we will have two of the best players in the world in 2 years for the price of just one. Because we would only have to pay for Erling Haaland, not for Kylian Mbappe, a single euro. So again, Florentino Perez is the smartest guy in the room. So what we could see potentially over the next days is how Real Madrid, if they see that PSG is not making the call and they prefer to keep Kylian Mbappe in the squad this last season, this last year, then Real Madrid will make the call to Borussia Dortmund to start the deal for Erling Haaland. You know what I'm saying? So those are the multiple consequences that we might see over the next days. Florentino Perez has done a great job once again, following this strategy, which was, in my opinion, against the common sense, because the mainstream was claiming that once Kylian Mbappe communicated to PSG that he wanted to renew his contract, the next move was going to be Mbappe claiming and saying to PSG that he wants to leave right this summer. He doesn't want to wait for the next year. He wants to leave this summer, and he's not. So Florentino Perez knew everything about that. He was very aware that he was exactly what he didn't have to do. You know what I'm saying? So from that perspective, man, these guys are doing an incredible job. And I think I told you yesterday, we have to trust in Florentino Perez, because every time, when it comes to signings, when it comes to soccer, he knows almost everything about the different clubs, mentalities, mindsets, possibilities, negotiations, odds and all the stuff. So we don't have to worry about that because we are in the hands of the best person possible for this kind of scenario. So no worries, I will keep you posted whatever it happens. And let's see, cross fingers and see if Kylian Mbappe finally can play in Real Madrid either this summer or the next summer. And if we are able to sign Erling Haaland as well, that'd be great. So now let me know your thoughts about that. Just comment in the section below. And